Hello and welcome to Learn English Online with Isla. In today's video, we are going to talk about adjectives, comparatives and superlatives. So, what is an adjective? An adjective is a describing word. It's a word we use to describe nouns, noun phrases and clauses. So let's have a look at the sentences. The red bus. Red is the adjective. The long table. Long is the adjective because it is describing the noun. The tall man. Tall is the adjective. So what is a comparative? Well, a comparative is an adjective that describes and compares two things. So, for example, the 49 bus is bigger than the 71 bus. So our comparative in that sentence is bigger. Isla is older than Erin. So the comparative in this sentence is older. So you can see that it is an adjective with an additional part of the word added on, or in some other cases we add an extra word as well. So how do we make these comparatives? How do we learn them? So you start with the adjective, and if the adjective has one syllable, then there is a system involved. So first of all, I want to double check with you, what is a syllable? So let's just look at that. What are syllables? Syllables are the sounds we say in a word. So for example, big has one syllable, one sound, big, one beat. Happy has two syllables, and this word splits into two. Hap-e, hap-e, two syllables. Beautiful has three syllables. Beautiful, three parts of the word, three parts that we pronounce. So these syllables are important to know for our pronunciation when we're saying words, but also when we're learning rules like this one. So if we go back to how do we make comparatives? So we start with our adjective, big. If it's just got one syllable, then all we do is add ER. So you see that big becomes bigger, long becomes longer, old becomes older. Now, we do have some irregular adjectives. We can't say gooder and we can't say badder. That just doesn't work in English. So these ones are irregular. These change completely. Just like our irregular verbs in past tense, we need to learn these individually. So good becomes better and bad becomes worse. So in a sentence, using a comparative that is one syllable long, we might say, your TV is bigger than mine. If we were going to use better, we might say, your clothes are better than mine. And notice that when we're using these comparatives, that we're always using this word than, and we are comparing two things. So two things here. If our adjective has two syllables, so two sounds, honest, happy, then we can either add ER or more. So it changes, so you have to learn the changes. So honest is more honest, happy, happier, narrow, narrower. And you'll notice here that where the word had a Y, we change that to I. And that's one of the common spelling rules in English. Now again, we have irregular two-syllable adjectives like many and little. And again, they change. So many becomes more and little becomes less. So some examples. Sarah is more honest than Mo. Ruby is happier than Sarge. Okay, so noticing here that we are comparing two things and we are using than. Right, last one. If our adjectives have 3 syllables or more, like expensive or beautiful, then we always add more. So we say more expensive, more beautiful. London is more expensive than Birmingham. Okay, so those are the rules. So I recommend that you have a practice of those and write out some examples. So on to superlatives. What are superlatives? A superlative is an adjective that describes the highest degree of something. For example, Pizza Express makes the best pizzas in Birmingham. Our lesson on Friday is the longest one in the week. So best and longest are the superlatives. They are saying that these are the best, the biggest, the longest, the furthest, the number one out of everything. And so we use those when we want to describe something that is better than everything else, or bigger than anything else, or brighter than anything else. So it's the number one. So how do we make superlatives? Very similar to how we make comparatives. So this time, if the adjective has one syllable, we are adding est. So we are saying biggest, longest, oldest. Again, we've got irregular adjectives, and these turn into good to best, bad to worst. And they're quite common, so they are worth learning and using. In a sentence, that TV is the biggest in the shop. Okay, if the adjective has 2 syllables, honest, happy, then we can add est or most. So most honest, happy est, narrowest. So notice again that when we have a Y on the end, we are changing it to I. And again, we've got irregular verbs here that are 2 syllables. So many turns to most and little turns to least. And a couple of examples there for you to have a look at. Sarah is the most honest person in the class. Ruby is the happiest girl in the world. Okay, so last one, if we have adjectives with 3 syllables or more, like expensive, we add most. So we say most expensive, most beautiful. London is the most expensive city in the world, right? Remembering that when we're using superlatives, we're saying it's like the number one of its kind, superlative. Okay, so what I recommend is you watch this video again, you take notes, you make a list of adjectives, their comparatives, and the superlatives, then write the words in sentences. You can also use the websites and exercises linked below to practice more. And of course, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. I hope this has been useful to you. Thanks for watching Learn English Online with Isla, and I look forward to hearing and seeing your comments.